inside the cabin of the Volkswagen ID.3, and let's start by doing an acceleration from standstill to 80 kilometers an hour. I'm gonna go on sport mode, where everything is supposed to get stiffer and more reactive. And let's see how the 204 horsepower of this electric engine reacts. Wow, it's really not bad considering the car and the amount of power. It's plenty enough. And this is what I like about EV, whether they are powerful like crazy or just 200 horsepower like this one, the reaction that you get whenever you floor it, it's quite impressive. Whenever you need power, it's instant. From 50 kilometers an hour, I floor it. Bam, 80 in a few seconds. Wow. That's what I like when we talk about EV cars in general. So let's go a little bit on Twisty Road, see how this ID.3 behaves. Wow, surprisingly okay. Considering again the weight of this car, the 204 horsepower and the quite narrow tires, 215 millimeters, I think the handling is really good. Of course, and this is the same for all EV cars, this is thanks to the lower center of gravity due to the batteries being located on the floor of the car. I really wish Volkswagen would at a certain point introduce a sportier version of the ID.3, probably with two motors, one in the front, one in the back, an all-wheel drive setup, and why not 350 horsepower. That would be really a very nice hot EV hatch. Further versions will become available with even bigger battery than these 58 kilowatt hours. Something that I want to show you that I am quite impressed is the radius on the steering wheel when you want to do a U-turn. Let's do it now. That's impressive. Wow. 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 Very good for maneuvers in tiny roads. The handling of this car is really good. I'm quite impressed, actually. You don't really feel the weight of the car. Of course, don't get me wrong, it is not a sports car by any means, but still you can have some fun drives with the ID.3. And I like the fact that you can drive it with one foot. The regen braking is quite strong. I don't think you can adjust. You have only one position, but it is very well calibrated. To me, this would be the perfect city car. The car for small commutes, and still with that 420 WLTP range, you got plenty enough. Of course, if you want to do a long trip, you have to consider spending some time to recharging your car. But still, if you plan it well, and if you allow yourself some time, then it's gonna be okay. Let's go on comfort mode now. See if there's any difference. It is still quite reactive. Suspensions are really firm enough and comfortable enough, I would say. They are not that stiff, they are not that soft. I think they are very well balanced. Head-up display in front of me with all the needed informations. I now have 334 kilometers left when we talk about range. As you can see, I'm driving in a quite dynamic way, the way I like to drive cars. And of course, the range estimation will adjust according to the way you drive the ID.3. So, in conclusion, what is it like to drive the new Volkswagen ID.3? As every other EV car, I personally enjoy this fast way of reaction whenever you hit the throttle. And I also enjoy the fact that you really have the impression to have way more power than what you really have. The handling is surprisingly good for this type of car, and I think that this would be absolutely a daily car for me or for any other people that need a quick, snappy car to commute from home to work, for example. The range is sufficient enough for small trips, and if you plan longer trips, you just have to think about the recharging time. So all in all, I really love the technology involved into this car. Maybe if I had to have a few complaints, one would be the design, the layout of this central infotainment screen. It looked to me like it has been put there. It looks like the latest ones from Toyota, from Hyundai. Nothing against them, of course, but I would have loved something a little bit more integrated here. But other than that, I like the user interface. I like everything here. I even enjoy those touch haptic controls. I mean, I love screens, so if you love screens, if you love technology, if you love electronic gadgets, and if you like to have the latest and greatest, then you will love this car. There are way more options and things to play with in this car than into my Audi RS5, for example. So I would definitely recommend, if you like to have an EV that is quite affordable. I mean, of course, it is not cheap by any means, but it is not the same price as Tesla Model S or Audi e-tron, for example, then I would totally go for the Volkswagen ID.3. I truly loved this car.